What things should we stop romanticizing these days? Story 1. The gangster lifestyle and everything it entails. I've watched so many people I grew up with get trapped in that game. About half the guys from my old neighborhood are either serving life sentences or in the cemetery. Story 2. Intimacy. Yeah, sex is amazing, but we've put it on such an insanely high pedestal that it's basically a superhuman experience. Almost every show, movie, or piece of art somehow ties back to it. And I love it, but there's more to life. Story 3. A lot of girls I know act crazy with their partners. Then they post their horoscopes and use them to justify toxic behavior. One ex-friend hacked into her boyfriend's social media and deleted all his female followers and friends. When we called her out, she said, "Well, I'm a Leo, so I can't help it." She thought it was cute. That's when I stopped hanging out with her. The moon and stars aren't making you crazy. You're just toxic. Story 4. Ridiculously expensive weddings. So many people take out loans and go into debt for one day they can't afford. Story 5. Mental illnesses, especially things like depression and PTSD. It's not aesthetic. It's not quirky. It's not something you snap out of and post a deep Facebook status about. It's debilitating. It sucks the life out of you. It literally drives people to hurt themselves. Story 6. Jealousy. People think it's cute and wonderful that someone cares about you that much. It almost destroyed me. A guy I was friends with couldn't handle me not being his girlfriend, so he threatened me, triggered a restraining order, and crashed his car near my house trying to pull my attention from my long-term boyfriend. Then he escalated to long-distance stalking, waiting on my work route, showing up in every store I was in, following me to college every single day without fail. The whole "if I can't have you, no one can" thing is terrifying and unhealthy. Story 7. Overworking. People at my job turn it into a contest of who sacrifices more. Who pulls the most overtime? Who does the most off-hours work? Etc. It's unhealthy. I have a life and a family I want to prioritize. Story 8. France. Don't get me wrong, it's stupidly beautiful. In parts. But movies and TV have convinced people it's a fairy tale wonderland full of romantic men waiting to sweep women off their feet and impossibly hot women waiting for a man who can satisfy their appetites. Reality is none of that. From extensive travel, I'd say there are many countries more beautiful overall than France. Again, France has absolute beauty, but nothing on the scale of its romantic myth. Story 9. Celebrities dying young at the peak of their career, especially by suicide, overdose, etc. Out of sympathy, they're placed on a much higher pedestal than those who aged and made mistakes along the way. Somehow this makes the legacy of the older ones feel lesser than those who died young. Story 10. Motherhood. I feel scammed by society on how motherhood is portrayed. It's incredibly hard. I still struggle to pull myself together postpartum, and it's so hard to open up about how I really feel for fear of being labeled a bad mom. I love my child, but motherhood sucks. Sleep deprivation. Story 11. My roommate often works late. At first I sympathized, but soon realized she seemed to enjoy the drama of being exhausted, hating her boss, and believing the office needed her. Lately, she's been staying until midnight or later, then back at 7 a.m. A woman who recently gave birth was exhausted and hadn't seen her baby in ages. Still, she makes six figures, so maybe the money's worth it to her. Story 12. OCD. It's not quirky or fun when I'm late to work because I had to go back upstairs to check the gas stove was off for the 15th time because I can't stop imagining the whole building exploding. I literally freeze in place fighting the urge to go back when I know I checked, but the intrusive thoughts are too overwhelming. OCD isn't cute, quirky, or organized. For me, it's believing people will die if I don't check again. Story 13. Special needs and disabilities in children. My son has special needs. The way people romanticize it, like I'm so lucky to have him, what a time to be alive, etc., drives me nuts. He's a great kid. I make sure he has a great quality of life. But he'll never have a normal life, and there's nothing cute, quirky, or romantic about that. Story 14. Substance use. Been there, done that. My ex lost his life to it. I'm still piecing mine back together years later. Yeah, it's fun at first and can make you feel amazing. But after long enough, you forget who you were before them. And trying to find yourself again after years of use is a nightmare. I wouldn't wish that path on anyone. I wouldn't wish the pain of losing a child too soon, like my ex's family went through on any family. He was 26. Story 15. Suicide, especially in the music industry. Just because someone drops a mediocre album and then dies doesn't make them a legend. As someone with a parent who has mental illness, it sickens me how glamorized it is. Some artists are exceptions because they made truly incredible music, but nowadays it feels like a trend. Story 16. Being a teenager. Yeah, you're young, but that means nothing when you have no control over your life, no life experience, no money, no mental stability, and no one takes you seriously. I wish people would stop telling teens those are the best years of their lives. I was absolutely miserable as a teen. I'm 23, 24 next month, and only now starting to enjoy my life. Story 17. Young people with cancer. There have been a few bad movies lately about teens or young adults diagnosed with cancer. I think Netflix dropped a series too. They do nothing for the cause and, in my opinion, are just a cheap way for writers to add physical imagery to teenage angst. I work exclusively with teens who have cancer and find the whole genre weirdly embarrassing. Story 18. The perfect life. A lot of people think after graduation you should get a good job, meet the love of your life, get married, have 2 kids, and live in a nice house. Things often don't happen that way, and that's okay. The friends I know who've more or less followed that path aren't necessarily happier than those who haven't. Story 19. Soulmates. While it's nice to believe there's one special person destined just for you, it's not realistic. Everyone has the potential to find someone special to share a life with, and it's important to remember relationships take work and commitment. Story 20. Celebrities. At best, most are normal humans who are good at their job and just trying to make a living, like you and me. At worst, they're narcissistic jerks with messed up childhoods, terrible family structures, and little formal education. But our culture romanticizes them and treats them like gods because they're pretty and play a role on screen or TV that makes us believe they're someone special. They're not, so stop treating them that way. Story 21. Ironically, romance itself, in my opinion. The whole classic being romantic thing feels cheesy and over the top. To me, truly romantic moments are the first time you can fart in front of your girlfriend or do things you'd never do in front of anyone else. But movies idealized the whole idea and made it way more banal. Story 22. People in certain jobs. Stop creating heroes. Yes, people in certain lines of work do incredible things. But when we call them heroes, we artificially elevate them to this mythical status while conveniently ignoring their real problems.